Hello, my friends. This is Zelda with episode 51 of Scene Crime. And here we are. I thought we would come back and do this a second time. Now, I'm just going to say sometimes we get cards like we did on the last reading, and sometimes it can be a nothing burger. It just really depends on spirits, guides, angels, what we should be talking about. If I don't have a particular subject and I'm asking, they just could give me really anything. Let's see. Let's see here if we can get something. And I'll tell you what, I am tempted to do something, but no. Here we are. We're going to see what the cards give me. This Seven of Swords. Someone looking over their shoulder, thinking that they've got away with something. Now that's interesting. A misfortune from the Piotnik deck, and from our friend the Cartomancy deck, the Four of Spades, which is frustration, difficulty getting the point across, and very disappointed at the outcome. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We kind of have an idea that this is about someone who thought they got away with something. Let's see what it is. First, we're going to lay these cards out. And see, I would put these over here. But do you see how shiny that is? And my lamp is just not having it. So we're going to put them over on this side today. And we're going to lay out a few cards. We're going to see where this comes. That's a Taurus. I don't know of anyone who is a Taurus, but that's a very spiritual card. Basically telling us that there's no gray area, only black and white. There is the Wheel of Fortune. Looking where to put some money. Maybe, okay, so there's a Capricorn. Don't know of any Capricorn. The 10 of, and I've stopped. I don't know if you see him. Do you see him? Look. Where in the world did this guy come from? Happy fall, y'all. We'll just keep going. My goodness. I don't know what he is, but I'm going to get him. All right. I just don't want to do it there on camera. But I'd better do it. I'm sorry, buddy. Goodbye. He will get baptized in a little bit. All right. So King of Cups. Now, I'm still not knowing who this really is, and maybe I don't need to know. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The Fool card, the Hermit, that is a Virgo, and the only Virgo that I know is Uncle Brian. Again, showing up. And, you know, we had that card basically saying that someone thinking that they got away with something. Okay, that makes sense. Let's put some Piotnik out. And then we're just going to kind of go through these cards. Now this, remember we saw the Misfortune card. A Journey, a Gift, Loss, Widow, and a Commitment card. Interesting. Putting these to the side. Here we are with the Cartomancy. Three of Hearts. Remember we had the Four of Spades in this one. Oh boy. The Seven of Spades. That is Jennifer McCabe. I love the way how Nurse Kim says that. I can't say it the way she does. Jennifer McCabe. I don't know. It sounds so good. There are secrets. You betcha she's got a ton of them. And there's Karen. Okay. Okay. So the spirits and the guides and the angels, they don't want to stop talking about Karen. And this doesn't surprise me because this is the card that I always pick out for Mr. Reed. This King of Cups, strong, sturdy, emotional, knowing when to say, what to say, The force, the man behind the woman is Karen Reed. The ship that is coming in, the stability, going with the flow. And if I may, because this is a water sign, I don't know what Mr. Reed is, but this description just fits him perfectly. And look at this little fishy. Fishy is there because that is the spirit animal of the cup suit, because it's a water element. So this doesn't surprise me, especially with this devil card. And the card's laying out on this side. Now this devil card, yeah, you know what I say. Evil. You know, this devil card basically is saying there's someone that is obsessed with something. They certainly are all obsessed with Karen Reed. However, this side is just really interesting to me. But before we get there, this Fool card basically is, well, we're not a fool. Maybe that side is, but we aren't, and Karen Reed's side is not. But this Fool card really means it wiping the slate clean and starting over. Could this Taurus person be this Hank Brennan, the new attorney from the CW? It remains to be seen. Look, this Fool is looking like he's wanting to jump off the cliff, but he's not going to. He's looking up. He's wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and he has a complete new outlook. The sun is white because it's like a blank slate. You see this little 0 up there. It is a 0. It's not an O, it's a 0, and it is null because it's the first card in the tarot deck. The good thing about this particular card for Karen is when they do start out, this little knapsack here has a picture. You can't see it, it's too small, but it has a picture of a phoenix which will rise from the ashes. I think that this is a grasp, because what they're doing is they're wanting to take all of this information that the CW has gathered and go forward with it once again. I don't know what they're going to go forward with again, because my friends, you saw that video. What did they do with the evidence? What evidence? The CW has 0. Null. They don't have bupkis, but they think they do. Do you ever hear that saying, the tide of the battle has turned? Well, it's definitely turning. And it's not going to be turning in a good way. Because you remember that card that came out, which was the Swords card. I believe it's the 6 or 7, a 6 of Swords, where this fellow is running and he's looking over his shoulder and he's dropping swords. He's careless, dropping swords. Someone's chasing him and looking over his shoulder. Careless. He's dropped that. And then we have this card, which is the 7 of Pentacles, or coins, if you want to call that. Look, he's got an extra one down here, and he's looking over here to see where can I put this. Now, of course, we would all say this is the logical place. And if this card turned up in any other reading, I would say, well, you know how they say money doesn't grow on trees? Well, they haven't had this card come out. Because look at this, all this foliage, that means that there's growth. Now, I really feel that this is also a ploy to break Karen financially. I mean, think about it. I've got to say, the one thing that I constantly have thought of is, what would I have done? What would I do? I probably would have been behind bars, because my legal team would have probably dropped me because I couldn't pay them. And that happens more often than not, and it is frightening. So when they accuse you... Now, here's something that I want to share with you. And I love that Mr. Reed is right here. well, before we get there, here is Uncle Brian, but beside him, he's got this card, and you see, if you look closely, that these two characters have laid down their swords, and they're walking away. They're walking on, and you see here, look at the smug look on his little face. Holding up this sword as though to say, okay, I'm winning. Doesn't look like anybody got hurt. But this is Uncle Brian expecting Karen Reed to just throw down her sword and stop fighting. Do you know, and this is logical, I have a lot of people from outside of the United States. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not any expert witness, I'm not anything like that at all. I'm an expert at the cards, and I'm a legend in my own mind. The legend of Zelda, right? So, one of the things that is really, really a part of our Constitution is that we are innocent until proven guilty. Well, this has certainly been backwards. And it's been backwards for our justice system for a long time because, believe me, once Karen Reed got into the system, it has been a bugger for her to get out. But the prosecution has the burden of proof. Don't ever forget that. The prosecution has to prove beyond the shadow of an absolute doubt that there is irrefutable proof that Karen, or any other case, did this. And while you can relax just a little bit, when you go up against those that don't uphold this justice that they should, don't uphold the Constitution, in my opinion, and don't uphold this mindset, in my opinion, then you've got problems like Karen. Now, the reason, and see, sometimes we just don't, we know it, but yet we have to hear it. You know what I mean? But one of the reasons that we go in and quite frankly, sometimes you hear of these people who are just these serial unalivers, right? They are just crazy. And they go in and they say, not guilty, Your Honor. Well, my darlings, that's not because they feel that they're not guilty. Well, some do. But because when you plead in that way, now I'm not a lawyer, this is just based on what I've known, experienced with other people, and I've read, that puts the burden of proof onto the prosecution. So when you say you're not guilty, you've passed the buck over to the prosecution, and they've got to kick in, and most times they don't. Most times they can't, but many times they do. Now, Karen wasn't going to plead anyway. She knew right going in. This is Karen, and with this Joker card coming out, she knows exactly. And there's another Joker in this deck that is just basically an outline, black and white. There's no color. That means that there was a secret, but this is not only secrets, but it is basically hidden things. This is something that has been, I almost said buried, and I apologize because that's a little rude, but that's very true. A buried secret. I know Karen's got some fear. This is a fear card. I know she's got fear. I mean, she would not be human if she did not. I have a lot of faith in her defense team. Now, this is the CW that came out. And basically, I mean, you may as well say Karen was the widow because Officer John was her boyfriend. She experienced a loss. You know, the journey and the gift. Oh yeah, this has just been a complete journey. And I think the gift has been that many are doing what they can to help her with her defense team. Look, I want you all to know, I have more faith in Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, Martin Weinberg than I do the sun coming up. That's how confident I am with this dream team. But we all have to relax a little bit and just take a breath and know that there is a process. Because you want to know this? The CW has done nothing but take shortcuts. They've manipulated and they've done the SOS theory. They have swapped out suspects and they started from the end and they backed into this whole thing. No pun intended again, because we know of that whole situation. But just look, we have, I mean, it is faux pas after faux pas after faux pas, leaf blower, solo cups, this, that, a mess, and a mess. An inverted video. We have clothing of Officer John's that looks like it's been laundered a few times. Then we have the bulkhead. Then we have this. Karen Reed is one of the strongest women that I've ever known. That other client that I have, Mary Ann, that was just a little taste of what Karen is going through. Just a little bit. And you can watch that video. I made a video on it. So this card here basically is saying a security. A security within. A security for Karen. She doesn't have to be afraid. But she's going through this naturally. Now, I know you all like them. Here we are, Grandma's deck. The Gypsy Witch playing cards. No gypsies, no witch, just a little kitty sitting there, and it's all cute. And people are like, well, these don't look worn. Well, I don't use them all the time. I want to save them. And I'm certainly not going outside and playing hopscotch with them. So here we are. Nice. The Seven of Diamonds, number 38, and this is a flame. This basically is saying that this neutralizes evil. Don't you love that? I sure do. The flame neutralizes evil. And if it's near unlucky cards, it increases the value of the luck. And right now we're talking about Karen. So that's going to increase that. Look at this, my darlings. Look at this. 3, we got a confirmation there. And what did I just get done saying? I have more faith in AJ and David Yannetti and Martin Weinberg and all those people than I do the sun coming up. Oh my goodness. It basically, the sun dispels darkness. The sun brightens up things so you don't have, so they can no longer hide. There we go. So this is Karen once again, and look at that. There's someone that is younger. It is a recognition of a sign of business success. I'm not sure who that is. We'll put it over here. 6 of Hearts. Look, there's a home. You know, this card can also predict a marriage. And look what we have here. The marriage card, a commitment. I don't think that... Okay, the Jack of Diamonds. And this is basically saying that there is good news coming. I'm going to tell you, I still don't believe that we're going to have that trial January 27th of 2025. Just saying it makes me have the willies. We may. And you know what? Quite frankly, in many ways, I hope we do. Because the CW, what do they have? They've hired, and this guy is a defense attorney. So, and he's used to the, old-time crimes. One more card. Wow. We're getting a lot, and that's Colin again. Now, I'm going to lay out this, and we want to thank the spirits, guides, and angels today for this. It's coming out Karen because there's, and I love it. I love it. And we're going to stop there. This Page of Wands, look how well he's dressed. That means he's got good, positive news. Doors are opening for Karen. And the Ace of Swords, remember, the swords cut both ways. They can cleanse and they can tear down. But this benevolent hand coming out is basically saying, look, you've got a new beginning. And it's a communication new beginning. And even if they start over, we know the evidence, but I do believe there's a lot more coming out for Karen. I do believe that. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. I love doing this for you. Thank you for indulging me in this type of style of reading. I love bringing it to you. Once again, this is about the court case. This is about, because I think there's just such a buzz about things. But you know what else there's a buzz about? Getting a reading with me. Because I lay out the cards in this type of fashion. You ask me 2 questions, or you can go follow the link. You can order what you need, and I'm here for you. Because you deserve answers. You deserve encouragement and direction. And if I can help give that to you, I'm definitely going to do that. But in the meantime, please do me a favor. Like this video and subscribe, so we can have our giveaway and we can continue to have fun. But thank you very much, my darling friends. You guys are awesome. I love reading in the chat, but be careful about what you put in the comments, because YouTube has this thing called an AI, and it filters things, and sometimes I miss some of your comments. So I know what you mean. Just maybe even have to talk in a little bit of code, but I get it. Thanks so much, my darlings. I'll see you again really soon. Let me know in the comments. Do you like this? I'll see you again. Bye-bye.